Good evening, Lizzie boys, and welcome back to my channel. I've been meaning to cover this. I was going to cover it as soon as the out-of-box photos of Cleo and Deuce went up, but today we're going to be talking about the Wave 2 of the Creeproduction line. So, I think it was yesterday. It was either yesterday or the day before, but the dolls started being found in the Mattel store. This is over a month early because the dolls will not officially release everywhere else, like on Amazon and stuff, until April 1st. So if you missed out on this very limited Mattel store in California release, don't worry, they will be in stock in April. So yeah, nothing to worry about. Cleo and Deuce also were stocked by Walmart, so more people were able to get their hands on them. That was where people got them to begin with. They were $60 at Walmart, and then Walmart actually put them on their website for like $70. Nobody said a word about it. It just kind of happened and they went out of stock. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just dive right in and take a look at these photos. We'll start off with the photos from the Mattel store. We've got, I don't know why I keep... Every time I try to say Abby's name, I keep, like, stuttering for some reason and just not saying it. Okay, I'm saying it now. But they had Abby and Ghoulia at the Mattel store, and most likely, at the time I'm making this video, they're sold out, so... Yeah, these dolls never last more than a day on the shelves at the Mattel store because there are resellers everywhere. Not to mention it was one per person, and I'm sure these resellers got, like, their friends to come with them and buy them all up, so... Yeah, it does seem like some actual collectors were able to get them, though. I saw, like, at least 2 people I follow, fellow collectors, get their hands on them, so I'm happy that it seems like some actual, like, fans were able to get these dolls, you know? So, I've discussed Abby and Ghoulia already. We talked about them, I want to say, like, last year, because I'm pretty sure that's when these Creeproductions were leaked by Walmart, so... Yeah, I've discussed Abby and Ghoulia before, but it's cool that they were in the Mattel store. I'm super excited to get my hands on these because my Abby is missing things. Even though I got my own personal Abby, my first edition Abby, like, 10 years ago. Okay, it has not been that long. Okay, it might have been that long, but I got my Abby a long time ago, and despite her being in the box when I got her, she was missing her, little purse thing attached to her belt. Well, not her belt, but, like, it's kind of, like, strapped onto her dress, and I didn't get her pet for some reason. Again, my doll was new in the box, but she was just missing these things, so I need them. I need them, so I might buy 2 Abbies just so my one Abby can have all her stuff, my out-of-box one. So yeah, as for Ghoulia, I kind of just like first wave Ghoulia, and having a Creeproduction in the box will make me feel like I have an original Ghoulia in the box, so that's my goal with her. Plus, Saran Ghoulia. I already have a Saran Ghoulia, but I can have another one. On to some more Creeproductions. We've got the out-of-box photos of Cleo and Deuce. These photos were taken by Cleo's Nile on Instagram, so all credits to them. All credits to them. So, I actually learned that Cleo's skin tone is a bit darker. This was told to me by, somebody I know. Okay, yeah, Dolljunk told me, that's Dolljunk on Instagram and on YouTube, because they have the same username across both platforms. They told me in the comments of my previous video about Cleo and Deuce that after 2017, Mattel changed their catalog of skin tones, and new LA Tan, which is the new skin tone for Cleo, is a shade darker than the pre-2017 LA Tan, so Cleo's skin tone has been darkened because she still uses a tone that has been labeled LA Tan, but that tone was darkened in 2017. So that would explain why all alumni Cleo releases have featured a somewhat like darker, warmer looking skin tone. I did notice it. Like, I feel like I noticed it as early as Haute Couture, which was obviously Cleo's first new alumni era doll. So yeah, Cleo does have a slightly darker skin tone, and it works for her. I like it. As for Deuce, he's just the same. The only thing that really changed with Deuce is that he was given wrist articulation. Again, I went over this in my previous video about Cleo and Deuce's 2-pack, but the original release of Deuce lacked wrist articulation. Wrist articulation was not introduced on the Monster High Boys until Jackson Jackal's first edition doll. which was not his first doll, because his first doll was the Gloom Beach one, which also lacked the wrist articulation. So, yeah, Jackson's first wave doll, which was not actually his first doll, was the first Monster High boy to feature wrist articulation. Just a little fun fact. I really like Cleo's face, though, to be honest, it doesn't look as, like, quote-unquote fixed as I thought it would. Like, she still kind of looks like she's facing both directions, if you ask me. And, to be honest, I kind of prefer it that way. Like, again, a big charm point I feel like with the original 2010 Monster High dolls is that they're a bit wonky. And as a result, the 2015 reproductions that they did of Cleo, Claudine, Draculaura, and Frankie look a little off to me when their faces are so, like, perfectly printed with their eyes actually facing forward. Like, I don't know. It does help identify them to help differentiate them from the original 2010 dolls. Like, even the 2013 reproductions that they did of Draculaura, Frankie, and Claudine had their eyes facing forward rather than, like, kind of being a little wall-eyed the way the original dolls were. Like, even those ones were, like, a little more forward-facing, but they still looked off to me, to the point that I can pick them out by pictures. Like, when it comes to, like, looking at images, like, I can identify them. I don't know. That might just be the crazy Monster High fan in me, though. I don't know if the average person can do that. So these are 2 Cleos that we've seen. Their usernames, the usernames of the people who own them are up there. So the first Cleo we saw is the one we discussed the other day. The first Cleo we can see, the one on the left. That's the one by Identities, the one that they got. And again, this Cleo does look kind of wonky, and again, I like it. Like, I don't know, something about it just works for me. This other one was acquired by Honey Pache? I don't know. I'm really bad at pronouncing people's usernames out loud. But yeah, again, this one also looks a bit wonky. The tinsel distribution based on the bangs looks pretty good. So it doesn't seem like they skimped out on the tinsel. It seems like Cleo will have a very similar amount to what she had on her actual, like, original 2010 doll. We can also see the back of her head in this photo off to the right, and I didn't crop the photo this way. This is just the way it was on Instagram. So, yeah, but again, it does look like she has plenty of tinsel, which is definitely a good thing. I always hate when they do a reproduction of a character who had, like, tinsel in their hair and they just kind of take it all away. That was something that happened in 2015 with Cleo. I used to have Cleo's 2015 reproduction. I wish I kept it. For some reason, I sold her, and I wish I didn't, but I did. And I always noticed that she had less tinsel than the original doll. Because the reason I sold my 2015 doll was because I got the original doll, and I compared them, and I was like, this one kind of sucks. The 2015 Creeproduction of Cleo also had shorter hair in general. It wasn't as long as it should have been. That's not a problem with this new doll, though. Her hair is just as long, if not a bit longer, than it used to be. I also don't think her shirt looks different. Like, I don't know, when we saw that initial, like, leak, well, it wasn't a leak. When we saw the first version of this 2-pack from the Instagram user Identities, Cleo's shirt just looked kind of off to me. The blue shirt looked kind of off, but here it looks like it should. Nothing looks off about it to me. His set looks perfect. They got the same shades of green and gold for their stands. That doesn't seem to have changed at all. Like, this is just a really well done set. They look really good. If we were to compare them to the originals, I'm pretty sure it would be like, again, I'm very into Monster High, so I would be able to tell a difference. But to, like, the average person who's not as obsessed with it as most of this community is, you know, I don't think they would be able to tell the difference. And obviously that's what Mattel was going for, just to try to make these as accurate as possible, and they definitely did. These 2 look great, and I definitely can't wait to get them. I think I'm a little more excited for Abby and Ghoulia. Like, I know Spectra also exists, but they gave her poly hair, so I kind of don't want her. I don't like poly hair. I'll still get a Spectra, but probably just to keep her in the box. I don't really plan on unboxing her. These dolls look amazing out of the box, and honestly, again, I know I keep saying the same things over and over, but I can't wait to get them. Cleo's lips do seem to be more of a red color, and again, I mentioned this in my previous video, but it's more apparent in these photos. Her lips are definitely more red than they were before. And I remember when Haute Couture Cleo came out, people were complaining about her lips being smaller, but it does seem like they brought back her original sculpt here, and her lips are not as small as before. I didn't really mind it. To be honest, I didn't really notice it. I was just like, oh, this is a nice Cleo, and then people were like, her lips are smaller, and I was like, oh, yeah, I guess they are. I'm either the most observant person on the planet or the least observant person on the planet. There's never like an in-between with me where I'm like a little observant. I kind of notice stuff, but I miss like other stuff, you know? I either notice everything or I notice nothing. That's how it is with me. I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna call it here. I've rambled enough. Overall, this pack looks great. I can't wait for these two to be in my hands. I want Abby. I want a new Abby doll. We need an alumni Abby. Why are they making an alumni operetta doll? Which, listen, I like the way that operetta looks. The fan club doll that we're probably gonna get this year. She looks cool. But also, I want a new Abby. I need a new Abby doll. Why haven't we gotten one? I also need these three, but I have to stop mentioning them. I need to stop mentioning them all the time. I never will, though. I need these three. But yeah, I'm gonna call it here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry for taking so long to make it. I didn't feel like it. But today I did, so yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, these reproductions will be released on April 1st. So if you missed out on the Palmart stock, don't beat yourself up. Palmart's a bit of a scalper nowadays. I said what I said. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!